Welcome to SAGAS, a channel where we science the shit out of your favorite anime, games, and all sorts of other stuff. I'm your host Iker, and today we're proud to bring you another Dragon Ball Legends video. In this episode, we're going to be discussing why Pan's Ki Restore Speed does more damage than if we traded it for a strike attack of over 70,000. If this is true, this would mean Ki Restore Speed is the best damage dealing stat in the game. Can it be? Let's find out. But first, hit us with the drop. When designing a game like this one that has RPG elements, developers need to pick a set of stats that they want to factor into the game in some way. This game chose the stats you see on screen now. How they balance those stats and what they do have the sole purpose of fulfilling a player power fantasy. We all play this game to feel more powerful. Some of us want to feel like a destroyer god and one-shot everything in our path, like we do when we Rising Rush or face lower level opponents. Others want to take the path of the angels and master Ultra Instinct, so they can never be touched. That satisfaction most infamously comes when a player is dash stepping to get back to their dodge, a concept we're going to refer to as the combat loop. Balancing this mechanic is crucial because no one wants to be caught in a loop until they die, and while there are many great ways in this game to break the loop, which include various cover skills, swaps, type advantages, etc., there's a more fundamental mechanic protecting or, in some cases, enabling the combat loop. Gauge restore speeds, both Ki and vanish. For the combat loop to occur in this game, we need to ensure that we A, have enough Ki to keep the combo going, and B, reach our vanish meter again after using it. However, this game has a protection against this by pausing these meters during certain actions, like when you use an arts card, dash forward, charge Ki, and tap attack of any kind, really. Somewhere along the line, though, a player whose back was against the wall, like Goku when Jiren drove him into the ground for what seemed like the death blow, refused to go down and broke his or her limits. At this point, basic Sidestep was born. After people realized that this Sidestep would jumpstart the counter when it would otherwise be stopped, thus helping them regen meters more often, Sidestepping became a requirement for climbing the ladder. However, since the sidestep timing only allowed for it to combo without interruption when paired with a strike, this tech had to evolve. Players began to dash forward in what would be known as the dash tech, so they could reduce the distance a Ki blast had to travel, thus allowing players to sidestep after Ki as well. So the whole point of the various sidestep techs was to regenerate Ki and vanish meters mid-combo in order to achieve a kind of combat loop that allowed players to attack longer. But what does this have to do with Ki regen being the best stat in the game? Well, let's start with the following example. Let's look at Red Ku, attacking himself once with a sidestep and then once without it. If Red Ku were to use all 100 Ki to cast 5 strike cards, he would hit for the following damage as seen on your screen. Please note that combos receive a 10% reduction in damage for every subsequent attack that we need to account for, which is why you see the per attack numbers getting smaller and smaller as the attacks get higher and higher. This resulted in a total damage of 225,230 before running out of Ki and being forced to end the combo. Looking at completed combo totals is the most useful way to assess damage in this game, since these numbers are essentially guaranteed to land barring exceptions like certain cover abilities, as players will be able to execute these attacks without any kind of interruption. Now, we're assuming that a perfect sidestep is occurring, which can last for one full count without dropping the combo. Right off the bat, you'll notice there's 3 additional attacks that occur. This time we hit for a total of 313,243 before running out of Ki, a difference of 88,013 damage. Simply adding the sidestep technique gave us an additional 88,000 damage. That's incredible. In fact, it is the equivalent in this case of increasing Red Ku's average strikes in our first example by 17,602 per strike, a feat that would require a 40% boost to his base strike attack, but at the opportunity cost of nothing more than keeping your fingers slightly busier than they would have been otherwise. Still, I hear you all clamoring, what does this have to do with Ki restore speed? Well, since we have a method for extending combos through the regen of Ki within set combos, we now have to consider that Red Ku, for all his glory, has below average Ki restore at 1,678, an amount that regens at 10.6 Ki per count and is determined according to the following formula you see on your screen now. So what happens if we adjust key recovery values for Goku to, let's say, EX Zarbon's incredible key recovery speed of 2,611, which is currently the second highest. His key regeneration per count goes up to 12.17, a measly difference of 1.57 extra ki per in-game count. What could that possibly do? Things start off as seen above, but with the amount left over after 8 attacks, plus the additional 1.57 gained from the 8 original attack, we have more than enough to keep going and are able to deliver an additional 3 attacks due to the additional counts our combo added to our total, giving us an additional 64,162 damage from the 9th, 10th, and 11th attacks that we added. To achieve similar damage using Sidestep but having the original key restore of Redku, we'd need to buff Goku's base strike up to 70,000. That's an apples to apples comparison with Sidestep on both examples. This is why key regen is the best base damage stat in the game, period. 70,000 base strike would put Goku as the highest striker in the game, surpassing the current #1 of Super Trunks by over 4,000 more base stats, whereas getting a key regen of 2,600 would make Goku the 3rd highest for key regen in the game, and still within the bounds of normal for the current meta. This means that key restore in its current normal ranges is the best base stat by a mile for increasing damage output if you sidestep properly, but there are things in life that math just can't capture easily that we still need to consider in this equation. Imagine now that you're working your way up to the game-breaking move known as the Rising Rush. Wouldn't it be nice to have 3 additional chances to get one of those juicy Dragon Balls? It's very likely that after 11 straight attacks, you will have left one enemy close to death and have built up a full Rising Rush to eliminate another. On top of even that, since Vanish meters are all set at 2,000 regen, we know that they come back to full from empty in 5 counts. But in this scenario, we've added 11 counts without the player being able to respond, which means our opponent will be rushing over to the subreddit to complain about this hacker he just played who always had his Vanish up. But that's going to do it for us today, folks. We thank you for taking this journey with us as we hopefully changed your perspective when building teams and valuing characters in the future. We believe that the biggest power creep this game will take is when key restore speed finally breaks the upper limits set by Sparking Pan oh so long ago. And when that happens, you all will be armed with the knowledge needed to see the value in that. If you enjoyed this video, Montana, smash that subscribe button and give the video a colossal like. Until next time.